academia and probably the industry and perhaps the civil society. Law school should have total autonomy to be able to work out its own method to produce this new generation of lawyers or law-trained persons. It must have structural flexibilities to innovate and experiment with curriculum, teaching methods and all that. Introduce specialization. We are living in an age of specialization, and I am surprised we are talking about the need for specialization in the legal profession. We have now surpassed in numbers the American legal profession, which is 10 lakh. But today, Bar Council tells me that we have exceeded 10 lakhs. So we are the legal profession, the largest number of lawyers in India. And thanks with globalization and trade in legal services, our lawyers who are competent and who are entrepreneurial, they will be able to go anywhere and practice. So therefore, specialization will have to come in the LLB level, which is supposed to be the highest level of education that a law-trained person would require. Research-based learning. Today, advocacy, if it is suffering because of the inadequacy of multiple knowledges being integrated and provided in an articulate way before the court. That's why Supreme Court in many cases, environmental and others, appoint expert commissions, because it cannot come from the ordinary lawyer. If you have in future competition cases, anti-monopoly cases, or insider trading, or this anti-dumping, you know, the type of litigation that the new economy is throwing up requires partnership of lawyers, economists, managers, statisticians, chemists, physicists, you name it. That's the advantage of the American or the European professions. They have partnerships involving multiple professionals so that they can offer to the client a single window service. This is supposed to be unethical according to Victorian professional ethics. Therefore, we are to look for such type of specialization in the new, and I would like to suggest that apart from the 5-year course, I suggest that if you add one more year for specialization, the idea is being mooted by Honorable Justice A.P. Shah in the Delhi High Court, whether the national law schools could give 1 year of selected courses which are relevant to the judicial administration of justice for those students who have an inclination for joining the judicial service. So that during that additional year, that 6th year, not only would he learn some of those subjects relevant to the judicial administration, he can take the judicial service examination, so that it's a sort of a system where the High Court is going for campus recruitment, so that the best of talents are straight away drawn. And today it is possible because a young judge is starting off with about 50,000 rupees salary and prospects for fast-track promotions, so that in 10-15 years time you could expect to be in the High Court if you are so good and hard-working. And this is possible. So therefore, those of people who believe that we are producing law graduates for the multinational corporations, you are wrong. Because you do not know the world has changed. And if you want talents, you have to scout for talents. And you must be prepared to be able to recruit them. There are students, as I know, in every class who would like to be in the judiciary. But what happens is that you insist on 2 years practice. Now it is not required, thanks to the judgment of Justice Kripal. But otherwise, 2 years, 4 years, High Court rules vary. By the time, they will have been absorbed in many positions in different places. And after that, they would not care to write the judicial service examination. I do realize that not even 1% of National Law School graduates write the judicial service examination today. Why? That's because the timing of recruitment and the structure of recruitment is not able to reach out to those talented people who desire a rewarding career, not in terms of money. Please remove that misunderstanding. Many national law school graduates do not go for campus recruitment in multinational law firms. They go for litigating, even district level. I can show you in many districts, the national law all by himself. But he wants encouragement, his advice, which I hope it will. Research-based learning is something which I am not happy with the existing national law school scheme because their research skills are very limited. Whereas the research skills required for future type of litigation or other legal work are many. And therefore, I totally agree that we must have, as the National Knowledge Commission recommended, few advanced centers of legal research and continuing education. They have said that the Government of India must provide 50 crores for 5 different advanced centers of legal studies and research. Government of India is very liberal in giving to science educational institutions. But nobody asks for money. And nobody has any idea what do you do with money. Not with LLB education, but to develop. We have an obligation to develop law. And developing law is not only through this incremental process of decision making through litigation, but a planned program of development of law. What's the contribution of the legal profession to law reform in this country? To call for strikes whenever Parliament adopts a legislation, not to implement it. Therefore, we must make this lawyer to serve the society, not merely in adjudication. That is the challenge, which we have not done either in the National Law School. Therefore, we need to recognize the central role of a law teacher, which I would emphasize and close. At the heart of legal education and research is the law teacher, a class of persons whom the practicing profession does not even recognize, and the society and the government do not consider important enough for any special treatment. Talented people are not attracted to law teaching, given the present salary scales and service conditions. There have been occasions in which in the National Law School campus recruitment, some of the junior professors offered themselves and got recruited and gone. Besides giving, this is what the National Knowledge Commission recommended with respect to legal education and law teachers. I quote, besides giving better salary incentives, there is need to remove the fetters on the faculty that pertain to opportunities in legal practice without compromising academic quality, as they do in the medical profession. National Knowledge Commission also wanted reputed teachers to be honored with national awards. No meaningful reform in legal education is possible without adequate supply of able and effective law teachers. Today, national law schools are disintegrating because of the paucity of committed, able, competent teachers. Every law school, like the judiciary, have 1/3 of the vacancies unfilled because there are LLM degree holders but no law teacher. PhD degree holders but not able to communicate. The law that they have studied is what they have prepared in their LLM or whatever. So no meaningful reform in legal education is possible. We are not in a position to bring in the second generation reforms in legal education simply because there are no law teachers. We know a great deal about brilliant lawyers in our country, and there are too many of them. We know many details about outstanding judges in our country, but we do know very little about the law teachers in our country who is deemed unfit for any position outside teaching. In professional legal circles, they have no status or respect. Law teachers, in turn, struggle to make some extra money by spending a large part of their time evaluating answer books of students from different universities and writing cheap textbooks as guides to help students pass examination. No wonder legal education in India's 700 law colleges is nothing more than elementary understanding of few legal concepts and rules. No doubt a healthy partnership between leaders of the profession and full-time faculty is